What's up? What's up? What is up? It's another week, another Friday, another opportunity for the Ball Hog Sports Talk to come to you, whether it be in your mobile device, whether it be on your computer, in your office, in your living room, wherever we might be coming to you. Welcome to the Ball Hog Sports Talk. The Ball Hog Sports Talk with your boy B Brown ESQ, aka the Ball Hog, aka the Mouth of the South, aka Mr. Excessive Celebration, here for another fabulous week. Today's episode is called We All Fall Down. And if you've joined us before, you know that our titles mean a lot to us and we put a lot into it. But today's title, We All Fall Down, was triggered by youth football. Yeah, it's the fall, y'all, and youth football is in full swing. And I took my 8 and 9-year-old team and I went and played the older kids, 10 and 11-year-old team. So my younger son played my oldest son's team in a little scrimmage just to prepare each other. And to just be frank, we got whooped. My 8 and 9-year-olds got pushed all over the field. And afterwards, after acting crazy and yelling and don't be scared, just come off the ball. Right after the scrimmage, I said, now that was a good old-fashioned, passionate ass whooping. And then I said, but it's okay. Because the test was whether or not you would quit or not. And you didn't. We all fall down. We all get pushed down. The question is, will you get up? Not for yourself, but because someone's depending on you. And while the example was football, the same is true for life. Same is true with parenting. So today's episode, We All Fall Down, is going to touch in some of those same areas when it comes to sports, business, and entertainment. Looking this week at the images of our Haitian brother and sister and being literally whipped by Border Patrol people in Texas. It hurt. And I thought as a country, our reputation has taken a stab. We've fallen down to see humans being treated that way. While we won't touch on it much today in the show, I'll be remiss if I did not acknowledge that tragedy. So I wanted to send nothing but positive thoughts and prayers to those trying to escape such a bad situation and being forced into what looked like yet another bad situation with Border Patrol. Now, with sports, business, entertainment, the Ball Hog Sports Talk, we do it rough, rugged, and raw. With no further ado, let's hop in for the week. Thank you for joining. Let's go.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, and stay woke. Because this is the Ball Hog Sports Talk with your boy, B Brown, ESQ, a.k.a. the Ball Hog, a.k.a. the Mouth of the South. This is the place where sports, business, and entertainment collide. And we're going to give it to you rough, rugged, and raw. So come get you a spoonful, like some grits with butter and salt. You know how we do it in the South, y'all. Make sure you do not get caught in your feelings. Strap on your seatbelt and enjoy the ride. Come on, let's go.
What's up? What's up? What is up? It's the crew in the building. Your boy, B Brown, ESQ, a.k.a. the Ball Hog, a.k.a. the Mouth of the South, a.k.a. sorry, I forgot one. Breezy, a.k.a. Mr. Excessive Celebration, here in the building with the crew. You know what it is. The Big Flow Show. What up?
What's good, America?
And you know it's ETP Ellis, the producer. What up?
What's the deal?
Man, the deal is this show, We All Fall Down, is, because of the fall. The fall started. I see you got a little pooch there with you. Hey there, handsome. Is boy or girl? What's the no? He or she?
At least he's not licking your neck this time.
It's a she.
It threw me off last
It's
time.
a she. That's the new way of working, y'all. We work with kids on our lap, with dogs in the background. That's just what we do now. So with the Ball Hog Sports Talk, my man ETP, love it seeing you multitask. But the fall concept, we all fall down because fall started this week on Wednesday, right? The fall concept is because we all fall down in the sense that you see I got on the Dookie chain. And I got on my orange. I grew up a Miami fan. I grew up a part of what used to be the U and the smoke and the old Orange Bowl. And to see Miami get whooped 38-17 at home by Michigan State, it's time to have a conversation. Florida State is 0-3. It's time to have a conversation. The turnover chain was a good gimmick for a little bit. Florida State came out with their turnover purse or whatever they called it, turnover bag, MERS. It was a MERS. It was a man purse. It was called a turnover bag. It was a book
Is that
bag.
what we're doing now?
That's what we're doing now. Everybody got a gimmick. But the truth of the matter is,
a purse.
we got to have a conversation. Is the landscape of college football such that two, not one, but two Florida football programs, perennial powerhouses at the bottom basement, not only the ACC, almost all college football. Is that what we doing now? What is going on?
Miami been trashed for quite some time. If you think about it, they had a couple blips, but they've been getting trashed. They tried to fix their graduation rates, and that went way up. So they're now, playing the game the right way, and they can't play the game on the field anymore. I think they're trash. It's time for us to stop watching.
Miami's not trash. ETP, I don't know if you have an opinion or not. That was a personal jab right there because he knows I'm a Florida guy. I'm Florida through and through. That was a personal jab, and I'll take it. Look, they're 1-2, just got beat at home by 38, by 21 point, 38-17. So that's a 21-point rule. We all play video games. They had to put the sticks down at home. So I can't be too tough in my rebuttal of that statement, but I don't think they're trash.
Hey, your buddy's been real quiet. What's your buddy that has all that stuff to say? He's been real quiet.
Paul, yeah, he's been real quiet. He's been silent.
Paul McDougal or something like that. Something.
Yeah.
Hey, Paul, man.
You're calling him by name. That's messed up.
Yeah, no, he had a lot to say to me.
Government.
I'm calling you out. I haven't seen your Facebook. I don't know if you've been on vacation or if you're in Facebook jail, but you've been real quiet because your team is trash.
Yeah, hey, I don't know what
Church
Paul could say that's too tough. ETP, I know you're not big into the college football like us, man, but am I wrong to say college football is better when Miami and Florida State put a real team out there and they're real, like they are competitive? How dare they be not even competitive in the ACC?
It is.
I don't know, man.
I mean, Miami's like the original team.
ETP, we got you on mute. Let's bring you back. Let's bring the volume back.
Go ahead.
There you go.
No, now you're on mute. We all look at it, right?
Well, this is what you know.
Right.
This is how you know we do a live show. Sometimes the volume don't work.
You hear me now?
Sometimes we got to figure out what's going on with the technology.
We're back. We can hear him. I don't know if you can hear him. I can hear him.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Is everybody good now?
We're good.
Cool. You hear me?
Yes. Start talking. Answer
all
the
right.
question.
So, I think, Miami is kind of one of the original teams you love to hate, right? And so based on that, you need a villain, and they were a powerhouse back in the day. I'm just surprised that they can't put a team together. Miami, it's one of the best places to go for college, I would imagine.
It was.
But they can't, it's still Miami, and now you got NIL. They can get paid, and there's no state income tax in Florida, so they're really botching the whole system if they can't field a solid team and can't get any good prospects.
I mean, they had probably one of the best teams I've ever seen. I saw an interview on the Shay Shay show with Quentin Portis and talking about it, and he just started talking about how he played with Sean Taylor and Ed Reed. I thought to myself, like, that's unfair that they were on the same team. I mean, that's unbelievable.
And Jeremy Shockey was on that team too. Right?
I mean, that's the most talented team I've ever seen in college football in 1 year. Unbelievable amount of talent in one place.
Right.
So, but it's just their time has come. They'll give you a year here and there. They beat Notre Dame 1 year real bad, but then they're bad. I'm more concerned personally. I'm more concerned about the fact that Notre Dame barely beat Florida State, and Florida State is trash. So we barely beat Akron or Toledo. Sorry. I'm a little nervous about this Wisconsin game coming up this week. I got to be honest. I'm a little nervous. It could get out of hand, get out of control. We got to pull something together. Hopefully, we took those first few weeks and kind of got our stuff together, and we'll be ready to rock. I don't know, B, if you had the same nightmare I'm having.
I don't know if it's a nightmare or foreshadowing or maybe just being a little on edge about college football in general. My sound's a little different because it was my technology that was messed up. So I probably sound a little different. I sound fine. Cool. But I think it's a good matchup in the sense that Wisconsin runs between the tackles, and that's where Notre Dame defense thrives. Notre Dame, being the they here, They did have a big win against Purdue, so we shall see. But Miami not being good.
The fact that you just said that Purdue was a big win puts us in a funny situation.
It was. I mean, I thought Purdue was playing well, actually. Purdue had I thought Purdue was playing well and played well against us. But let's get back to Miami, because I think Notre Dame, Wisconsin is going to be a good game regardless. But Florida State being 0-3 and Miami being 1-2, and just off the heels of a 21-point loss at home to Michigan State is big news. And because it's not even really considered big news now, Sports Center is not talking about it. The college football shows aren't really talking about it. Maybe you're right. Maybe the Big Flow show is right, is that this is the new reality, that Miami is the bottom of the basement. We all fall down in the sense that every program, not just Miami, Notre Dame's had its run, right? Where a few years, you're like, wait a minute, we just bad. Brian Kelly, whether you love him or hate him, has sort of come in and he's been able to right the ship and been more consistent. We all fall down. Miami and Florida State now at the bottom of the basement of the ACC. Seems incomprehensible. The Manny Diaz era, everyone just wanted Manny Diaz. In his first 27 games, he is 15-12. Al Golden was 16-11. Randy Shannon was 14-13. So you're looking at the first 27 games of 3 different Miami head coaches, and average is the best that you can say for all 3. So their downtime, the era of Miami, the sort of valley of Miami football. Everybody's going through their peaks and valleys, their ebbs and flows, but it's lasted a long time, man. That's 3 generations worth of head coaches where average is the best that you can describe it. We shall see. I know some of my brethren from Florida, the great state of Florida, from Fort Lauderdale, Miami, a lot of Miami fans watch the show. I'd love to hear the state of affairs in Miami as it can be described by true Miami fans.
But this isn't unique to Miami. This isn't unique. I don't think this is specifically unique to Miami, right? Like, you have all these legacy teams or colleges.
USC.
Yeah, you got USC, you got Texas. They've been challenged. Like, you've had these perennial coaches, right? These legendary coaches, and then when it has to change over, Penn State, they have kind of fallen by the wayside. And then you got these new, Alabama's basically the only one that has survived from, the beginning of college football all the way through.
They've had their blips too, but they figured them out.
They did. They figured it out. They hired a man named Nick Saban. That was the biggest thing.
I know.
He's Haitian. I heard
he's Haitian for sure on his mom's side. But the thing I look at is too, like, is this the year that's going to be kind of interesting, because Clemson didn't look great. Ohio State's got their struggles. They come out looking weird. So, I always thought it was Ohio State, Clemson, and Bama were like the 3-headed monsters that were kind of at the top of college football. But now it's like, you mentioned Bama and Florida. We don't know what Florida is like, but they were kind of, I don't know. Bama likes to kind of take weeks off and then they come back and beat the hell out of you later. But is this the year, like, with the playoff picture? Like, what is the playoff picture going to look like? Are we going to get a new team in there? Is Oregon going to show up and say this is going to be a year that we have, or is it just that USC was it? I think I messed it up. Did Oregon beat USC? No, who did Oregon just beat?
Oregon just beat. Who they just beat? Oregon just had a big win. It wasn't against USC. Oregon had a win against Ohio State.
Ohio State, yeah, of course. Okay, say Oregon just beat Ohio State. Big win there. I don't know. It would be exciting if college football kind of got turned upside down a little bit. Seeing some of these teams that are, the FCS teams or the, coming up and getting paid to go beat up on people. But there's just so many weird scores when you try to go week to week and say, man, this person just beat this person, but this person got beat. Georgia Tech, they get whooped by somebody, then they come out here and look good. I don't know. I like to see it shake up, and I like to see things go a little bit different. As long as Notre Dame and now Northwestern keep winning games, and I'll be excited. But besides that, I'd like to see the shake up. So hopefully Miami continues to lose, because everyone loves to see that. And Florida State, too, they can get it, too. USC, they can get it, keep losing. Besides that, let's see what happens.
That true Notre Dame man, like, don't worry about it, keep losing. But those three programs, well, we talking about 4 programs, but 2 being in the state of Florida. You got Miami and Florida State. We mentioned USC and we mentioned Texas, are from states where you have an unlimited amount of talent. So to know that even in those states, and I know in Florida there's been a lot of back and forth about why can't we keep some of the talent at home. There are options now. People can go play wherever. But you got USC in the hotbed of talent, California. You got Texas where, there's so many talented prep 5-star players are coming out of Texas. It's just interesting to see the ebb and the flow of college football. The landscape is such that you don't know who's going to be a powerhouse other than those main 3. You got Ohio State, Clemson, and big bad Bama. And everyone else has been hit or miss. So really interesting. I don't know, because even LSU now is down. The Ed Orgeron, the whole honeymoon where everyone loved him, even that's now a little bit like, okay, what is LSU going to be?
LSU had one good year. They were trashed the year before that. Going back to Notre Dame centric, beat them in the last 2 bowl games. They've had some challenges. Georgia, Georgia's playing well. But you know that Georgia is going to let you down eventually if you're a Georgia fan, right? They're going to eventually – they've been doing this since the beginning of time. Michigan looks like they're having a good year, but they've been trash if you really think about it. It's a weird situation in football. You're like, is everybody that go to Bama? Is everyone at Clemson? Is that what it is? That they're just all the good people that can make these teams return to the dominance are sitting on the bench at Bama? Is that what's going on? But it's interesting how football it's shaking up now. You just don't even know. But in some ways, it's good for football. It's good to get these teams coming up and a new team here, a new team there, upsets. People love to see that. Upsets are great for the sport. No one wants to see Alabama win every year except for people that are missing all these.
For all our Alabama viewers and listeners, that was the Big Flow Show. I do not agree with him talking about y'all T. I will say this, though. The parity in college football helps when there are these conversations happening about expanding to a 12-team playoff team. Now, they got shot down this week. The committee did not move forward with that conversation, but the expansion to a 12-team playoff, I think, is going to be the beneficiary of more parity and seeing some of these teams that were perennial powerhouses now have to share the spotlight and share some of the success. It is fall. We all fall down. And in the fall, there are those of us who love football. But we got to move over and share the spotlight with baseball. There's an MLB wild card race going on like no other right now. There's a series that is about to ensue that is, to me, the quintessential definition of a rivalry in sports. For the second spot in the wild card race, the Red Sox and the Yankees are about to embark on what will be a straight-up fight in Fenway. We see ETP, Ellis the producer, with his hat, so we know what side of this battle he's on. What makes you think that Boston will be able to hold on to their currently they got the second spot? They're holding the lead with the over the Yankees in terms of that wild card spot. What makes you think that they hold on to it, or is it the Yankees that will get that wild card spot?
It's tough, but the Red Sox are on a streak right now. They're wearing these really ugly uniforms.
And what do you think about that? Why change the uniforms? They said for good luck. I was like, that's bad luck. Don't change the uniforms.
Well, they've been on a hot streak ever since they have, but the idea that you're watching the Red Sox and they're dressed in yellow is just problematic for me.
What color are the Sox?
Exactly. They're not red.
I don't know.
So, they dressed somebody. They were on the commentator on the game the other day said they look like a parfait. That's what their uniforms look like. But no, I mean, obviously the hitting power of the Yankees is crazy, but the Yankees are on a slide, so we'll see. I mean, it's gonna be a good, exciting weekend, and this will basically determine. I think they'll both make the playoff. They'll both make the wild card elimination game. The Blue Jays are kind of tapping on their heels, but for the most part, I think it's just a question of, are they going to play in Yankee Stadium or are they going to play in Fenway? And hopefully it comes out where they're in Fenway for the first
So
game.
it's a 3-game series, correct? I think the Yankees need to win more than the Red Sox in a sense because the Blue Jays and the AL East are coming fast. So the Yankees need it more.
Yeah.
I think the Red Sox have a 3-game lead over the Yankees, or whatever the case might be. So Yankees
they're up 2 now. And so depending on how the weekend series is, it could break the Yankees, but ultimately the Yankees at this stage are kind of competing with the Blue Jays. If the Blue Jays, which they always kind of fall apart at the end of the season anyway, so I think it's just going to be a question of, are they playing that single elimination wild card game in Boston or in New York? So
got it. I'm actually going to be watching, man. I know fall ball when it comes to baseball and the playoffs are big in a lot of households. They've never been big in mine. I'm from that part of Florida where we did football and track. We didn't do baseball. Baseball is big in Florida, but it depends on what part of the state you're from. But this, look, on behalf of the Ball Hawk Sports Talk, I need to know about baseball. So I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna start this weekend. I gotta see what goes on between the Yankees and the Red Sox, and maybe this old man can be turned on to baseball. Big Flo, do you watch baseball?
No.
It's greatest. This is the greatest rivalry in all of sports. Period.
Love it.
Longest running. You can't name another. Can you name another rivalry in sports that matches or even competes with the Red Sox and the Yankees? This is 100 years old, and it's always.
I would say Bears and Green Bay, but they've been beating us a lot lately. So I don't know how much the back and forth has been between the Yankees and the Boston. I know it's very storied, but I think that the Bears and the Packers are probably similar.
Lakers and Celtics in basketball. That was a good one. Yep, Lakers, Celtics.
I'll give you that. The Boston and the Yankees, I'll give it to you.
But the consistency, where's the consistency?
It's just not the sport that the other two are.
On the professional
Michigan,
side.
Notre Dame.
Nah,
Michigan, Ohio State.
But college, I don't think it's even close. College, I don't think it's even close. Not even Michigan, Ohio State. It's North Carolina, Duke. Biggest rivalry in college sports.
Yeah. Which has been dead for a decade.
Fair.
Really? I think Michigan, Ohio State is probably right there.
Right there? I don't know, man. That UNC Duke stuff, like, people will not hire you.
I think that's regional.
No way. Duke and UNC?
I think people in California probably be like, huh?
Nah.
But Michigan and Ohio State, I think everybody knows they hate each other's guts.
I think that's far more regional, but hey, each of us have an opinion on it. I don't know, man. I would say that UNC Duke.
That didn't even come to mind for me when you said that.
Because you're going right to football. But basketball.
Oh, basketball.
Yeah, I mean, it is the definition of a rivalry when it comes to basketball. People have not gotten jobs because they went to Duke or UNC, but they serious about it. They hate each other. But we'll see. MLB baseball, AL East, and all of the other wild card races. There's only one other wild card that's still undetermined. So I'll be following it. I'm trying to become more of a baseball fan. When we say we all fall down in the season of fall, for me, football comes to mind. The NFL in week 2 had a lot of ups and downs. So we're going to talk about that. But week 3 opened up last night. You know, we have a Friday show, so we get the benefit of having that Thursday night opening week 3 matchup. And it was the Panthers versus Texans. As expected, the Texans with a brand new rookie quarterback, they lost 24-9. Sam Darnold, who used to be with the Jets, looked pretty good last night. He's looked good all year. They are now 3-0. 3-0. And living here in the New York, New Jersey area, I get to hear some of the media talk about, I wish Sam Darnold well. Y'all crazy. I don't know what the Jets want. I don't know exactly what they want, but they're cursed at the quarterback position because everybody believes does well. So, but anyway, there was a good opening game. The Texans, though, start the 3rd or 4th quarterback. It's tough to decide what number he is because of the Deshaun Watson saga. I don't know if anyone wants to speak to the Deshaun Watson saga, but watching a game, watching a Texans game, knowing that Deshaun Watson is healthy, but also knowing that he's absolutely not going to play, seems weird. Doesn't it just? I mean, the commentators don't even know how to speak about it.
$40
How many?
40 M's.
40 M's. I don't know. Like, it seems weird to be watching the game and he's not under center. Not for a reason that will be considered normal. He hurt his hamstring or something. That's a normal reason.
Well, that might have been kind of what started it. He hurt his hamstring, and so he needed a massage.
That's the alibi.
That's the alibi. I keep pulling his hamstring.
Doesn't it seem weird though? Like what? I don't.
It's the most amazing thing I've ever seen, and it's like they don't even really talk about it. The guy's making all this money. Nobody, they want so much in the trade, and he's just sitting there aging out on his on the shelf. Yeah. But you know what though? They may be onto something because one of these teams is going to have to do something. Losing quarterbacks, you just got to keep waiting. Somebody's going to go down, and they're going to feel like they can get it. So I think they're just still trying to get 6 people between trades and players, which I don't know who can give up that much for a guy that when you bring him into your town, you don't know the backlash. You don't know what who's going to be picking it outside. So the team that wants him is just not desperate enough yet, but somebody's going to get him.
Cam Newton's the same way. There's a lot of quarterbacks injured. You got a lot of quarterbacks injured. Yeah, Big Ben's down, Tua is down. There's a bunch of quarterbacks injured, and still Deshaun Watson is injured in terms of his reputation, but still no Cam Newton. No Cam Newton. What did Cam Newton do to be on that list such that they're playing with David Mills last night? That's right, David Mills.
$10 to anybody who knows where he went to school without Googling it.
You can't look first. No Google.
Tell me
Alexa, where did David Mills go to school? Hey, but I'll say Stanford. There we go. We got a real research team. But David Mills was starting for not the Stanford Cardinal last night. He was starting for the Houston Texans.
I don't believe he started for the Stanford Cardinal. I never heard of him.
I don't think he did either. Yeah. I don't know if he did.
The school. He was a G.
But still no Cam Newton. What has Cam Newton done to be on that list?
He'll be picked up too. Somebody got to pick Cam up.
I mean, there's five slots open right now for him.
Then he got to get vaccinated. He has to get vaccinated.
Yeah, there's that. But
I don't know, man.
But it's just got to be for the Texans just to be sitting there watching. It must be the most painful situation. I mean, not to downplay the reality of what they're investigating, but they're going quarterback after quarterback, and they're getting demolished, and they're just seeing this guy on the shelf. And he's practicing, right? So they see what he could be doing. So every week, every day they're excited until Sunday.
Until Sunday. I don't know if he's practicing. Is he practicing?
I don't know.
I don't know if he's going to the facility. I don't even know.
Just sit at home and collect your money, baby. Yeah.
He's counting money. He's counting money slowly. Money as slow as you can.
Excuse me.
In this episode, we all fall down. In the recap of week 2, we all fall down was true when it came to defenders in the second half. Derrick Henry put the team on his back, literally, and put defenders on his back. Straight up. Ran for 147 yards in the second half against Seattle. Seattle was looking great, and then Derrick Henry just like at halftime took some superhuman juice. 147 yards, 3 TDs in the second half. They won in overtime to beat the Seattle Seahawks, and the Titans needed that win because they don't want to start 0-2, so they're 1-1. The Seahawks are 1-1, and the Titans are look on paper they look good. I was like, they're just paper champs. But when Derrick Henry took the superhuman juice and did all that in the second half, and he didn't do it while just getting the ball, right? Because Julio Jones had 6 catches for 128 yards. Ryan Tannehill was 27 for 40, 347 yards. They are a very complete offense. I don't know if I'm considering him the favorite to come out of the AFC, but Derrick Henry is unstoppable. And the colder it gets, the more defenders are going to find their way out of his way. We all fall down. That's a grown man running that ball, man. King Henry, shout out to you, my brother.
It's so crazy. It's so crazy because we don't talk about running backs anymore. Like, who's the second best running back in the league right now? Like
That's
I
a
can't
great
even name another running back right now.
You want to name Christian McCaffrey, but he keeps pulling stuff.
But he's
He gets
now
hurt.
injured. But like
Second best.
pure running back. There's I couldn't name a second. Who's second best? It's so crazy how good
It's
he
not
is.
Zeke. Zeke's not sweet like that no more. I don't know.
Nah, Zeke's not. I
Saquon
mean, Zeke.
coming
If
back.
Tony Pollard is playing better than Zeke, Zeke might be on the bench soon. Zeke might get surpassed by his backup. Who is the? That's a great question. The best, second best.
I'm really thinking.
Oh
too. That's the
yeah.
worst
Nick
part.
Chubb. Nick Chubb. That's why I love our audience. I'm going Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb is the one. Nick Chubb is the one. And Nick
Shout out
Chubb
to
is so
Tony
good
Pollard.
because he
Alvin
gets
Kamara.
Come
I don't know.
on.
I can't. But you know what? If Cheeky
But
Black
these are
didn't
like
say it, then it's
utility
not.
backs. I mean, obviously Nick Chubb's a beast, but I mean
I'll go
Derrick
back to what
Henry
Jerome
is,
Bettis told me on the show a while back. Is that there's no every down backs anymore. You got
Except
little guys
Derrick
that can
Henry.
get against- Except Derrick Henry. Yeah, he's good for no reason too.
you know, big for no reason. He's big, strong, and fast. I would go with Nick Chubb, but Nick Chubb's biggest I think attribute is that he doesn't have to carry the ball all the time. You got Kareem Hunt helping him split carries. And so Derrick Henry's doing what nobody else does. With 8 in the box, everybody know you getting the ball, and you can't stop me. I'm going to run through you, dog. Good luck. Good luck.
Run through grown men.
And what's a fullback? Like there's no such thing as a fullback anymore. So
Yeah.
he's just taking it all over. It's insane how good he is. And the fact that he doesn't even get talked about that heavily for MVP is crazy.
Yeah, I think it's because we've been socialized not to focus on the running back position.
Yeah.
And he's so good at a position that we just have devalued over the last 10 years, 15 years, right? We've and I say we, I mean media folk, us, right? I'm sure that the teams don't devalue it. They know the ability to line up and run is quite valuable. But the way we talk about football in the media circles, no one talks about the running back. There was another amazing performance last week, and we got to talk about that. Somebody else put their team on their back, but before they did, his team paid tribute to Omar. Omar, the character from The Wire, they played the whistle, the infamous whistle. Omar coming, and the Ravens, the Baltimore Ravens, I think did a good job of honoring both the character, Omar from The Wire, but more importantly, the human who was a good man, Michael K. Williams. And we did say, I think last week, rest in peace, but it's worth saying it again. Hopefully him and his family rather is dealing with that loss, and we send our condolences to them. But I thought that was a class act for the Ravens to do that. And The Wire is synonymous with Baltimore. So I just thought it was perfect. And then they went out and did what they needed to do for the first time in a Lamar Jackson led.
That's the second best running back in the NFL. Lamar Jackson.
Is Lamar Jackson. That's basically what you got to say.
Second best running back.
But for the first time, they were able to beat the Kansas City Chiefs led by Lamar Jackson. So, and Lamar Jackson played a huge role in it. He is, I got to say it now, he's the second quarterback ever to throw for 200 yards, rush for 100 yards, and score 2 TDs. The only other quarterback to ever do that, Colin Kaepernick.
Are we that petty, though? I read that there was like most media outlets said he's the only one to ever do it. Are they that mad at Colin that they
Don't even acknowledge him?
You can't even give him a stat that he put in the playoffs? Nah.
And this was a playoff game against the Packers. Like legit.
Come on,
it wasn't against a soft team. It's wild.
It's never been done. Never been done.
Never been done.
Yes, it has. Recently.
It's a blip, man. They're gonna pretend like he never played in the NFL. He was an active his own.
Kaepernick, man.
Yeah, man.
Stand him.
That though, unfortunately, the recap of the Baltimore Ravens also comes with some interesting news that, you know, Lamar Jackson didn't practice this week because he was sore, not because he got hit by a defensive end, because he did a somersault flip into the end zone.
I knew that was a mistake.
Yeah,
what are we doing here?
It wasn't very graceful when he hit the ground. I was like, if he's not hurt, he's definitely a pretty resilient guy. Because
he hurt, but he had to walk it off.
Oh.
You had to walk that right off, though.
Right,
gotta walk it off. He proved that he is human. I don't know if Simone Biles was helping him and inspired him, but he looked like he had the twisties. It wasn't a great flip. The landing, you got a 2 on the landing. Great run, great touchdown, but a 2 on the landing. In the recap, in this whole episode of We All Fall Down, there's one person that's going to test that theory. Do we all fall down? Tom Brady says, nah, I'm going to keep on throwing touchdowns. 5 touchdowns. He's on pace. He's on track to throw 77 touchdowns. He threw 5 against the Falcons. The man doesn't age. I've been trying to throw salt on his name. I've been trying to hate on him. I've been trying to wish for his downfall. I've been waiting on his demise. I've been doing all. I've donated to Father Time when it comes to the Tom Brady fund. But the truth of the matter is, the man doesn't age. And if you had to bet right now, I'm talking about like the type of money where you needed the money. It's your rent money. It's the money that you need to pay the car note. It's the money that you got to get this money back. If you had to bet the money that you absolutely needed back on one team to win the Super Bowl, and you said anybody but the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, you'd be crazy. What is going on down there? How does he keep doing it?
It's crazy, but you got to kill your blasphemy. He's in Florida now. Don't you have some legal requirements to support your Florida teams? You're giving up. This is an exception to the rule.
That's on the other side of it.
Yeah, that's a whole different. Exactly. That's North and West. That ain't got nothing to do with me. We Southeast. And look, I said 2 positive things about Tom Brady like 2 weeks ago. Check the record.
Yeah.
That's as much as I can do.
That's too many, right?
Too many. I said 2 positive. But how does this keep happening, man? Don't you think it's eventually defenses have to say, and Bill Belichick's got to be kicking himself, because any question about who was the real catalyst behind those Super Bowls has sort of been
up. He shut me up. I've been saying Bill Belichick all these years, and I got to shut that up because I don't think they're going to. I don't know how. Is he that good of a player that his aura helped the backup quarterbacks when they came in when he was hurt? His mentorship, is that what it is?
In practice, they practice with him.
I guess. Bill Belichick, man, retired, dude. You could just claim you were done.
It was a fluke. His 1, maybe 2 Super Bowls in Tampa Bay were a fluke. But Tom Brady, bro, he keeps on doing it, man, and he's fun to watch. Like the 5 touchdowns. As a purist, now I have to remove the fact that it's Tom Brady when I'm watching it. I have to pretend it's somebody else. I give him an alias because I dislike the man that much. But I appreciate the football prowess that he has. That man's out there throwing that ball, man. And at 43, about to be 44, did he turn 44 yet?
I think he's 44.
Yeah. He's 44?
47.
172 years old.
Methuselah.
But he out there still throwing that ball like the young men, man. I don't know what's going on with that brother.
I think he also had a career high in rushing yards this week too.
Which is what, 20?
6.
6. How many attempts?
He wins.
How many attempts?
Yeah, one rush for 6 yards. That's
one rush for 6 yards.
Pretty good.
Hey, that's that
Lamar Jackson. Long is 1.5 for a QB sneak.
I bet you he was thinking about the slide from the first step. Like,
right.
Hold on.
Don't get hit.
I'm sliding.
Lamar Jackson influence on him. On the other side of performances in week 2 when it comes to quarterback, my man Jameis Winston, he turned back into a pumpkin. Jameis, he is who he thought he is. And I know grammatically that's not correct, but oh well, it works for this because Jameis Winston, right, because he's missed 31 and 31 last year. He had 31 touchdowns, threw for 31 touchdowns, and threw for 31 interceptions. Give or take, was it 30 and 30, whatever, roundabout numbers, 30, approximately. Was it 30 and 30? But he had just as many touchdowns as he did interceptions. So after having a phenomenal week 1 against Green Bay, we should have known that week 2, just in the law of averages, means that he was not going to play very well. And he didn't. They lost 26-7. He was 11 for 22, only threw for 111 yards and threw 2 TDs. His QBR rating, how they rate the quarterbacks was a whopping 26.9. And I almost had a 26.9 from where I was sitting. He was a starting quarterback with a 26.9 QBR, and yet Cam Newton's still on somebody's bench, somebody's couch. But 26.9, you got to really be bad to be a 26.9. Jameis Winston was a 26.9.
Yeah.
Jameis Winston, is this the real Jameis Winston, or was the Green Bay Jameis Winston the real Jameis Winston? What say you all?
Well, but you know, go ahead. So you know how I know how a QBR rating is bad because it's so bad. I don't even know what QBR rating, how that scale works, and it's such a low number. I'm like, damn, that sounds terrible. 26. I have no idea. I don't know, like, because the highest is like 147.4.
That's the worst. 20 is bad. It goes way higher than
that. Yeah. When you get your test back and it say 26.7, you know that you did not study. You realize that whatever game plan you went into for that particular test, you failed. 26.9 on any level.
Scale.
On any examination, any assessment whatsoever, you see 26.9, you putting your head down like, my mama gonna kill me. But I don't know. Is this the real Jameis, or was last week the real Jameis?
I think it's the Florida State effect. I think he's going the way of the Florida State Seminoles. He can't play because they can't play. I think it's just a curse.
Correlation there.
Somebody stepped on a crack or something. What was the superstition when they was growing
break
up?
Your back.
Yeah, broke your back. Something happened, man. But
something happened. I'm gonna say the real Jameis is last week, man. Jameis just had a down week this week.
He celebrated last week's victory too long.
He celebrated too long.
Did he flip?
The real Jameis was week 1 Jameis. We're going to see the real Jameis again this week. I don't know who the Saints got, but I know my man Cheeky Black. Hopefully Cheeky Black. Who's the real Jameis? Cheeky Black. We have an avid Saints fan that watches and listens regularly. So who is the real Cheeky Black? I'm going to ask Saints fan. Who is the real Jameis Winston, Cheeky Black? Is it this week's Jameis Winston, 111 yards, only 50% completion rate with a 26.9 QBR? Or is it last week's Jameis Winston who threw for 4 touchdowns, something crazy? He was out there looking flawless. Who is the real Jameis Winston? That's my question.
Let's see if Bill Belichick can do something with him when he comes out there.
They go and play New England this week. So we shall see. Thank you, research team. My man, Pete. The other recap, newsworthy information from week 2. We talked about it briefly. There's a lot of quarterbacks that are down. Andy Dalton is down, Big Ben is down, Tua is down, Wentz is down, Tyrod Taylor is down, and still no Cam. But Andy Dalton being down means a certain man from a certain field is going to get a start this week against a certain team called the Dog Pound. Chicago Bear faithful, and I'm looking right at you, the Big Flow Show. What y'all got? Is Justin Fields going to be able to do something against the Dog Pound? He got 2 real defensive ends coming at him. What is he going to do?
I don't know. Yeah. I'm not sure. He didn't really come and light it up. I mean, he had like 80 yards and a touchdown or whatever, but I think
he threw 1 pick, but he looked all right.
He looked okay. I don't know if this is the week that where I like him to start. I think Cleveland's starting to do a little something, but we're gonna make some. You know what? Baker's gonna give the ball away a couple times. I can smell it, and he's gonna win. I'm gonna go final answer. He's gonna win.
He's gonna win. Of all the backups, it's just so interesting to see Wentz keeps getting hurt. Tyrod Taylor just can't get a break, man.
But he keep getting back in the league, though. I gotta give it to Tyrod. Most brothers haven't had a chance to stick around that long. Tyrod been in the league 39 years, and he been on every team. He's got every logo. And they always have promise that he gets hurt. But Tyrod got staying power.
He does. He does.
Around. He must just be a really, really nice guy. But
a really unbelievable practice player.
Something.
He's a good locker room guy.
The NFL owes him at least 3 years after the doctor just messed him up with the little jab. That shot that put the man on the doggone sideline for a whole year. It's worth mentioning that the 2021 NFL playoffs will have a Monday night football game in the wild card race. They're going to have a Monday night football game. So that'll be interesting. We'll be watching closely because we know the Ball Hawk Sports Talk is where sports business and entertainment collide. We love to look at things like ratings. A Monday night football game in the playoffs, taking a little bit of a page from the MLB there. We'll see what do you think the ratings will do for that? That should be good ratings.
Fantastic. Right? That'll be fantastic.
Think so?
Yeah.
Monday night
football.
Playoffs
anyway, but it's fantastic. So Monday night football is great. It's about time. I don't want them to go Thursday night though. I don't want that.
Yeah, we'll see. My man, Cade McDonald, coming to us from the YouTube page. What's up, man? Thank you for listening by way of YouTube Live. And this would be a perfect opportunity to encourage everybody, please like, please comment, please share, tag a friend, tag a foe, tag anybody that you know. The Ball Hawk Sports Talk is in the building. And please subscribe to the podcast, both the podcast and the YouTube channel. Thank you, Cade McDonald, for acknowledging that the Browns are going to carve the team up. We're going to take your Bears and create bear meat. We're going to do what we do. Now, you tried to be neutral, like, I don't know. Nah, man, put your flag in the ground.
I said the Bears' final answer. It just took me a while to get to the answer.
It took you a whole bunch of time. You stuttered 8 times. You ain't got no sister stuttering.
Work things out. Sometimes you got to work through your answers.
You got to work through them. Well, your answer was wrong.
Fools rush in.
We going to whoop Justin Fields. Y'all been asking for it, Bears fans. This is what you've been asking for. Well, can we get Justin Fields to start? We need him to start. Myles Garrett is over there. He got syrup for them pancakes. We about to run through the flimsy little offensive line y'all got.
And running back's nice.
The who?
What's his name?
Montgomery from Iowa State. He'll get you those tough yards. And we're going to beat y'all.
Y'all gonna beat us. I'm glad you said. Cade McDonald from the YouTube world. Thank you for acknowledging.
On the team. We're gonna beat you.
Y'all got 7 tight ends. You ain't said nothing that sounds tough yet. I think Justin Fields is gonna wish that he got his start a little later in the season.
Linebacker is better than yours.
You're gonna find anything.
Huh? Got a punter that can punt that joint.
Yeah.
Everybody, real quick, man, let us know what you think of this new format.
Right. Yes, please. Yeah, aesthetically. We normally go with a different one. We normally go here. I don't know if you want to show it to them, ETP. We normally have this look, but for today, we're going with this look. And so please let us know how you like it in the comments.
Too much face.
Too much face.
Got to water down the face with a little shoulder.
They can't see my twisty mustache in this format.
That's because they quit a long time ago.
Hey, man, that's what the Bears going to do on Sunday. They going to quit. And Justin Fields in this episode of We All Fall Down is going to spend a whole bunch of time on his butt, on his back. Get up, Justin. Get up, Justin. The Browns will deliver. We're going to go to 2-1 by way of your Bears and by way of Justin Fields. Myles Garrett about to have a field day. Going to act a donkey out there. Let's go, Browns. The Browns. We got to get into name, image, and likeness. We have been, I think, the centerpiece of discussing where it is. We all fall down. Episode, we got to talk about name, image, and likeness because there's been a lot out there that is kind of like, we called it the Wild Wild West at the beginning. The NCAA said, hey, here's the rules, and they just walked away. Good luck, everybody. The guidelines have changed. Good luck, everybody. And the NCAA has not done a lot to regulate it. So the states have taken it upon themselves to regulate. And now what you're finding is it's kind of like the race to the bottom. And when I say that, that's a legal term. People talked about the tax benefits for companies and states making their tax benefits and the liability in which they attach this to companies. They made it more favorable to the company. I don't know what that was, but it sounded amazing. That's a good sound effect. Let's keep that. They made it more favorable to the companies. The same thing is true. Bear with me with the analogy. The states are trying to make it more favorable to the athlete and to the institution in the way they're designing their name, image, and likeness laws. In this week's name, image, and likeness updates, you got the Ole Miss football team. Now, actually, I'm going to start with this one. You have UNC Wilmington, who has established a comprehensive compliance and support division for athletes and NIL. They will do everything but negotiate the terms, meaning they will look at the deal, they'll give them strategic advice, they'll do everything but negotiate the deal. Is this what every school is going to have to do in order for them to survive in this new name, image, and likeness universe? Do all the schools have to do it?
I think eventually. I mean, because you got to look at some of the other stories. Now, I don't want to preempt your story flow, but on how you're going to get to your stories. But you got to believe these schools are negotiating on behalf of the athlete to some extent, right? Because these guys are doing these mass NIL deals and they're, offering stuff. But you're going to have to do something to get involved because these kids just don't really know what's going on or what they're doing. And right now, all money seems like good money, right? Everything now. Now, granted, they're not going to negotiate the terms or the deal, but just getting an understanding of what's going on and getting and making sure you're not backing some company that is, BYU is you'll talk about that story here in a minute, but like,
let's do it now. You can do it. Introduce it.
BYU. Now, so this is one thing I love watching the military kid people surprise when they come back and they surprise their kids. I love watching walk-ons get scholarships, and now I love watching these name, image, likeness deals that they give it to great numbers of people. So the BYU gave all the female athletes, 300 of them, name, image, and likeness deals. The international students, I guess I found out, we got to look at a little research. You can't get an NIL deal if you're international, so they just pay their tuition or did something for tuition to help them out. But they getting up, everybody's cheering. Something's magical about this $500 a month. I don't know if that's just a market that's set that way, or is $6,000 less than you have to report on taxes or something. But for some reason, that seems like the magic number. But I just like the fact that people are getting that way. And obviously the school had to be behind. Sorry, I don't have the name of the company. Let me give
Smarty Streets.
Smarty Streets.
Yep. And the last one was Build Bar. Build Bar was the one for the football team. Smarty Streets is doing it for all of the women athletes.
Yep. Yeah, all female athletes. And I think it's great. I know you think, the kids are somewhat getting exploited here, but again, $500 a month would have done so much for me when I was in school, especially if you're already on scholarship. I mean, that's pretty much. I mean, that's going to get it done, right? You can go get yourself a nice little car if you need to. There's a lot of things you can go do with that $500 a month, and you're going to have to do minimal for it. So I think the schools are going to have to vet those mass deals that are going on. They're not going to allow Pornhub to come in here and say, hey, we want you guys to talk about it. Arby's has another one. I don't know if you've seen the new Arby's one that's gone out. They said, so basically it's great. They've got 4 running backs. The Notre Dame running back is on there. I didn't recognize the other 2 or 3, to be honest with you, but they're out there recruiting, and you're going to say, I'm an RB, a college RB, and I'm eating at Arby's tonight. That's your tryout, and see if Arby's can pick you to be an Arby's RB.
Right.
And so now you got all over Twitter, you got all these running backs that are just making that statement. I'm an RB and I'm eating at Arby's tonight. And they're going to pick a few out of it. So yeah, these companies are getting some great marketing, some viral marketing out of it. And I think that's fantastic. But again, how much does that really cost a kid to say it? So I think it's exciting that these kids are able to make a little bit of money and get themselves out there and show some personality.
I didn't see the Arby's one yet. I do like that UNC Wilmington has encouraged their athletes to associate with local businesses. But I talked about potential exploitation. I didn't say it definitively. I said potential exploitation. And the question that's presented by one of our viewers, what's up, Tony Driver, TD in the house? He says, what if I was worth? That's not what he said.
Just shout out. Just shout out.
A pooch life in the building. But what he said was, what if I was worth more than $500? And that rhetorical question. But do you not sign it at 19? You don't have normally at 19. Now, there are some people that are well beyond their years. Normally at 19, even coming up with how to negotiate would be far-fetched. And so that's where I like that UNC Wilmington is helping with strategic advice. The guru here, the person that's worked in this space on both sides, on the brand and on the representation side, ETP Els, the producer, name, image, and likeness update. You see what's going on. You see these deals. What do you think? You think that this is like, and we've called it the Wild Wild West. Do you think that we are now finally starting to see the dust settle, and this is where we need to be in the whole landscape of name, image, and likeness when it comes to institutions and the athletes?
I think that it's starting. I don't think it's settled by any stretch. I think there's still a lot of development that has to happen. One side of it is, this UNC Wilmington concept, I think it's the way that everything's going to have to go, because there's always going to be these negotiations, and for the schools to be kind of reactionary to these deals that are happening and start penalizing the student athletes after they've already gotten a deal, to say, oh, look, you're in violation of our licensing deal or our endorsements with these other brands. So they have to build these divisions to actually evaluate. Now, on the flip side, with the transfer portal and just the empowerment of the athletes, these divisions are going to have to be a little bit lenient, right? They're going to have to work very closely with the athletes, because if the athlete's like, look, I got a Beats by Dre deal, I got a General Motors deal, and you tell me I can't do it, now you're taking money out of my pockets, right? And so maybe I'm going to transfer and go to a different school. So it's great that they're going to try to provide this guidance, that they're encouraging. They're not going to be able to negotiate the deals, and depending on the notoriety and the celebrity of specific athletes, there's going to be a lot of exceptions to these rules, or they're going to be a little bit toothless about it because they don't want to lose their star quarterback or their star gymnast over a specific endorsement deal. But ultimately, all of this, I mean, all the deals, like I was saying in previous weeks, it's just going to become more organization or school based versus the individual. You'll have your star athletes, but for the most part, you're going to have a lot of these smaller companies coming in and offering deals like a Smarty Streets, like a Build Bar, to say, look, we're going to support the entire team. You have boosters that are coming in and building these. Michigan State had that program where they offered it to all the football and basketball players. So the scale of it is going to continue. I don't think the dust is going to settle, but there's going to be these baseline deals for whole teams or whole athletic programs. And then you're going to have the individual deals. And then the question is where the schools land between the two, because if Adidas comes and tries to take the top Duke power forward, who's a Nike school, how is Duke going to participate in that negotiation, or are they going to limit it? Plus, there's also exclusivity clauses already in the agreements that they have with these brands. So the schools have to get involved. It's just a question of, are they going to be proactive about it, or are they just going to react and then create a lot of mess where they could, end up losing some players because the players already got the check in hand, and then they're being told that they can't do something that they thought they were entitled to do.
Right. I think the shoe is really going to drop. You hit it right on the head with that. When these national brands come in, like the Arby's is a good situation where maybe one of these people has a McDonald's or Burger King is a big sponsor of a stadium or something like that, and your running back is over here talking about Arby's. Or, again, that Nike thing. Someone's going to get involved. Someone is going to push the envelope from a marketing standpoint where they say, listen, we want you to stay in school one more year because we want you to do this. Nike deal is going to be a 2-year deal, but it's – you got to stay at Bama for 2 more, another year. Somebody's going to tell them that, or they're going to say, listen, we need to get a Nike team together, or all Nike teams. So we need to have you switch over and transfer to the school so you can go play for a Nike team. That's going to happen. And that's when everybody, right now it's all fun and exciting and everyone's getting in early. But when something happens like that, where it interferes with the competitiveness and how that thing works, which it's going to happen, that's when I think the shoe's going to drop and people are going to say, oh, pump the brakes.
I would argue it's already happening because each one of the schools has to decide whether or not, from an intellectual property standpoint, they're going to allow those athletes to wear maybe not a jersey, but the two examples that we read about, this week, I saw, the college polo. So what level of affiliation and association goes with that? Right. Whether it be fill in the blank with any brand, if I as a college athlete is endorsing the brand and I have the college polo on my shirt, the college name on my polo shirt, does that mean that the college is standing by that fill in the blank, that right. restaurant, and so we're already seeing that. And then different colleges have already made a statement, like Clemson and Syracuse were the good examples. Well, Syracuse allows their athletes to wear Syracuse polos. Clemson doesn't. Does that now create an advantage in recruiting for those schools when they're going against one another? And I think that's where I thought that the regulation would have been mindful up front versus being reactionary. Very, very good, interesting times, man. It's evolution. This Spencer Rattler, this quarterback from Oklahoma, who was also featured on that Netflix show QB1, was a star there. Spencer Rattler has now got another deal with a dealership in Norman, Oklahoma, where he's got 2, not 1, but 2 cars. And you look at it, there's a bunch of interesting and funny responses to it where, he can never say he was late to practice because he couldn't get a ride. We know now he doesn't have 1 but 2 cars. But it makes me wonder, what's his real value? Yeah. That Netflix show, that QB1 show, means he came in with so much value. And at, he's a sophomore now or junior, whatever. At 19 years old, he probably doesn't understand it. And we'll leave it there for name, image, and likeness this week. I do want to get into, because everybody, as we tell you, it's the Ball Hog Sports Talk. This particular episode is We All Fall Down. But in the Ball Hog Sports Talk is where sports, business, and entertainment collide. Sometimes there's an overlap. And in this week, my man, Manny Pacquiao, the Philippine sensation, known for what he does in boxing rings, is now taking on another fight. He is running for president of the Philippines. I don't see how he loses. Manny Pacquiao is like, everyone loves Manny in the Philippines. So I don't know how he loses. So let's get beyond that, because I don't know the politics of the Philippines, so I'm not going to pretend to. But it makes me ask you all, who could run for president? What professional athlete could run for president of the U.S. and win? In my opinion, the only person is Tom Brady. I think Tom Brady wins hands down, but maybe there are others. Who else do you think could run for the president? And I asked the audience this. The live listeners, please answer. Anybody on YouTube, if you listen back on this on the podcast, please answer. Who could run as an athlete? Who could run for president and win in the United States? Who do you think?
I just want to acknowledge your Tom Brady fandom is just coming out of your ears
Stop
now.
It,
The seal's
Stop
broken.
it. In politics, even those who are on the other side of the political aisle, or in this case, on the other side of my sports likeness, even I still got to evaluate who has the best chance of winning. I am not a fan of that man. Who you think can win, man? Who can win U.S. president election?
I think LeBron. I think LeBron has a good shot. He's already, he's endorsed some.
He's black, right? And we only have one black president. He's black.
Yeah, but
that's
he'd
so
probably be
2006.
the next one assassinated, because so many people hate him, but there are so many people that love LeBron that could do it. I don't know who. Jordan.
So does this one count? Does Dwayne Johnson count as a pro athlete?
He can win.
Yeah, I mean that's Hey, look,
wrestler.
Entertainment. That was sports entertainment. Yeah, and he did play at the University of Miami. I think I don't know if he got a cup of coffee or two in the NFL. I think he might have played brief, maybe, I don't know. But that counts. So you think The Rock could win?
The Rock could win.
I think The Rock for sure. Nobody dislikes The Rock.
Anybody else you think could win? Serena Williams.
Go sit down.
No.
You said Serena was ghosting. Let me see some other suggestions.
So we got a Peyton. I think it's Peyton
Manning.
Peyton Manning can win.
Yeah, nobody dislikes Peyton Manning.
No,
I think so. Our research team is saying Colin Kaepernick as a dark horse candidate.
The president of the United States.
Yeah,
talk about an assassination.
The president of the divided states.
Man, they wouldn't make him the president of the PTA in certain parts of the country. So you gotta remember now, it's got to be kind of. I won't say moderate.
Peyton Manning's the best one we've named. Peyton Manning.
Peyton Manning's pretty moderate.
Nobody.
I think Tom Brady's better than Peyton Manning.
I don't think anybody hates Tom Brady. I mean, hates Peyton Manning. People hate Tom Brady, but nobody hates Peyton Manning.
Any coaches you think come to mind? Maybe professional coaches.
Nick Saban. He's successful. I don't even know what he stands for.
He's not a U.S. citizen, though. He's
Nick
Haitian.
Saban's from Haiti.
You said he's Haitian.
Yeah, that's what Coach Oshie said. Are you from Haitian?
Yeah.
Haitian. That's what
Haitian.
Popovich will win the Democratic nomination.
Well, Popovich has been very political. Popovich could do it.
He would win the Democratic nomination, but he wouldn't win. I don't know if he'd win the presidency.
I don't know if he's moderate enough to win. I think Steve Kerr could do it.
Yeah. I think J.R. Smith going back to school.
J.R. Smith. Meta World Peace.
I'll vote for Meta World Peace, man. He's my top 10 favorite athlete.
Right.
Keep them coming, y'all. Let us know who y'all think.
Kwame Brown.
Yeah,
Kwame Brown.
I appreciate that. My girl Tonya said I would be great, but I ain't with all the assassination. They look too deep into your past. President, boy, they're looking at everything. Yeah, I got too many parking tickets. That's my story.
I love you. Go sit down.
Yeah, right. Yeah, go sit down. All right, so we gotta get to another story that also is sort of tangentially dealing with politics, although the Supreme Court is not supposed to be political. We know that this is a very conservative Supreme Court, and so conservative that in Mississippi, we will consider probably the first challenge of Roe v. Wade. 500 female athletes in protest signed on to an amicus brief that said that this Mississippi law that would prohibit abortions after 15 weeks of pregnancy should be absolutely disregarded. And they said that it would be sort of a reversal of women's rights, and the freedom of choice would be undermined by this new state law. But to see 500 women come together, 500 athletes, so you got Megan Rapinoe, you have so many names that came together to sign on to this. I thought it was pretty powerful. A women empowerment movement amongst athletes. I thought it was pretty cool. What did you guys think about that story?
I mean, it's obviously it's needed, right? There's a lot of needed voices in terms of, it's just funny the way that politics works. So some people are the same people that are very much about, freedoms and rights are also committed to, suppressing the rights of others. But it's good to see that the athletes, 500 athletes, what is it? 26 Olympians, 73 pro athletes, 276 college athletes, the WNBA union, the National Women's Soccer League union.
Yep.
It's good. It's solid.
You have big names. Sue Bird, Breonna Stewart, Diana Taurasi. You have big names. I said Megan Rapinoe already. So you think that's a good thing and a good show of solidarity?
Yeah, look, if there's all these women of note that are speaking on behalf of women, I would think that there's going to be some level of consideration, right? It's not being an advocate. It's not being an ally. These are the people that are affected by these laws, and they're, creating this coalition to represent that. So hopefully the right people are listening, and they make the decisions for the people that are speaking out on their own behalf. It's not, like I said, it's easy to be an ally, but these are the people that it affects.
The Big Flow Show.
I'm all for activism. I think, so many people are like, oh, I just don't want to. And I get these conversations, in the gym. People is like, I just want to watch the sport or whatever. And I love that the people don't care and that they're just speaking out and they're banding together, because the voices are powerful. We got social media now. People can't really cut you back on what you had to say. And I love the people that are risking, things for what they believe in. It takes a lot of courage to come forward and get a part of something and to do that. And then what you're going to do is you're going to get some support from some other people that look up to these athletes and look up to them. You're going to get haters that don't want to do it, but those people don't support that cause anyway, right? So they're just backing out and saying, I wish you wouldn't say anything. Those people are never going to go away, but you got to get those people in the middle. And I think if you want to speak up for what you believe in, it's always time for that, if that's something you believe in your heart. So I take my hat off to the fact that just the women's empowerment in sports over the last couple of years has just been leaps and leaps and leaps, more and more and more, getting, equal pay with the soccer. Just so many different things that we're just bringing to light. And I think you have to do things like that to get change to happen. Right. So that's all.
Look, I agree with the fact that these women are using their platform. And I say that all the time as an athlete. You're sort of, you've got the benefit and the burden of a platform. They're using their platform to speak up for what they think is right, is amazing. In this episode, We All Fall Down. It is specifically for this particular story. The old saying is, I'd rather die on my feet than live on my knees. What's the old saying? And you got to stand for something or fall for everything. In this episode of We All Fall Down, to see 500 athletes, college, Olympian, pro, come together and say, for women's rights, we're going to sign on to this amicus brief, says something. And I love the solidarity. I love the fact that the voice for women athletes, for female athletes, is growing louder and louder and louder and having an amazing platform. Shout out to y'all for using the platform. And I hope that come December 1, when the Supreme Court starts to hear the case, that solidarity is taken into consideration. Makes for a good segue. The WNBA playoffs, right? Because there are a lot of WNBA greats that sign on to them. Make it brief. WNBA playoffs is a good format. I think it's a pretty cool format. The first round is basically a single elimination game. Single elimination scenarios, to me, are just beautiful for sports. That's why March Madness is so great. You ain't got no time to mess up and come back. You got to show up today. And so the first round is for the WNBA playoffs is a single elimination game. I think it's cool. For this particular playoff series, Chicago Sky beat the Dallas Wings. My girl Arike from Notre Dame, unfortunately, was on the wrong end of that. But she scored 22 points in a losing effort. On the winning end was Candace Parker back home in Chi-Town, baby. Listening to that.
Real Central alum.
Where's she?
It's the same high school my son goes to. Yeah.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. Yeah. Good to know. Listening to that, Donda chilling in her hometown, 11 points, 15 rebounds, 7 assists, and 3 steals. Great stat line in a victory. Phoenix Mercury beat the Liberty 83-82, which was a great loss. Sabrina Ionesco missed a three-pointer at the buzzer. She had a great season, though. I think just the star that is Sabrina is going to continue to shine. Taurasi was out due to an ankle injury. Yet they were able to still be victorious. Brittany Griner at 16 points, 10 rebounds, and 6 assists in the win. Skylar Diggins-Smith, you know it, Notre Dame again. I'm a homer. Scored 22 with 4 rebounds and 5 assists. So they advanced. And the top seeds. So in the first round, you've got these 2 games, a single elimination. The top seed has a double bye. The next round is, because 8 teams total, single elimination in the first 2 games, double bye for the top 2 seeds. And then they go on from there. So we'll see. You guys know what it is here, man. We support the WNBA. We encourage all you guys to do it as well. That's the only way that the women are going to start getting that fair compensation. That equity is dependent on us supporting the product. In other WNBA news, Michaela Anyaweri, I think I said it right. We had our girl Lauren Miller, her teammate from UCLA, on here. But she wins the unanimous fashion. The Rookie of the Year, plays for the New York Liberty. She won the Rookie of the Year, so congratulations to her. The final game of the regular season for Las Vegas Aces and the Phoenix Mercury was played on national TV, ABC, on Sunday. So we've talked about this ad nauseum about how to create sort of the opportunity for the sport to get the notice and to get the fanfare that it deserves. The challenge with that is because it was the last game and they had the playoffs to consider, a lot of the starters weren't playing. I have not looked at the ratings yet. I will look at the ratings yet, but it raises the question about is the WNBA? Here's the question: is the WNBA? And I want a one-sentence answer. Is the WNBA doing enough to increase the awareness and the audience participation and support of their product? I'll start. Well, I'm going to start with whoever wants to go first. Go. Are they doing enough? One sentence answer.
No.
Because?
I only had one sentence, so I figured one word answer was about how I could do and keep to a sentence. I say no just because they're starting. But no, I mean, they're not there yet, and I think that the sport is a lot more enjoyable than people would think off the gut, and they haven't got the viewership up, so no.
Got it. They finally hired or designated someone as a chief marketing officer, but you still say no. What do you say, ETP, Elster, producer? You get final word. How do you answer that in one sentence? Are they doing enough to increase the overall fanfare for their sport, the WNBA?
No, you cannot load manage in a league that plays. I think they play like 32 games. Like, you're on national TV. I don't care if it's the last game of the season. Play the game. Give the people a show. You're competing with football. You're trying to build up the awareness of it, and go to 3-on-3 because it'll be more exciting.
Stop it.
You better stop. You're trying to get us in trouble. Rim. 8-foot rim.
My platform as in my campaign for president is make the WNBA 3-on-3.
Why don't you just make it a Papa Shot league? Just
Hey, just for the record, there are 2 people making these jokes, not the third. I ain't messing with you.
I'm not joking.
I am joking. I am joking. He is serious.
I am not participating in this. Look, I say no as well, but for different reasons. Low management is something that the NBA has struggled with, and the league has come in and tried to make sure that it does not undermine the quality of national games. And I think the WNBA should have stepped in and did it here. I just say no because I love the basketball that I see. And I'm like, how is this not something that everyone is made privy to? The quality of basketball is amazing, seriously. And I get it, like we all watch from high school level on up. We're used to watching the boys and the men's basketball. We're used to watching high flying dunking, but purely on the quality of basketball, there's some great basketball. And I really hope that the WNBA figures out how to translate that to the average layperson that likes basketball, but for some reason only watches the men's basketball side of the ledger. We got to end with this. Last topic before we get out of here. Sports Illustrated releases top 15 NBA players. And it goes in this order. Number 1, no, I'll go backwards. Number 15 is Beal. Number 14 is Jimmy B. Jimmy Butler in the house. Miami Heat, baby. Number 13, Jason Tatum. Number 12, PG-13. Number 11, Dame Dollar. Number 10, Kawhi Leonard. Number 9, AD. Number 8, Embiid. Number 7, James Harden. Number 6, Luka. Number 5, the Joker. Number 4, Steph. Number 3, LeBron. Number 2, Giannis. And number 1, drum roll, please, KD. Let's talk about it, man. Kevin Durant, number 1, LeBron, number 3. Does LeBron, in this episode, we all fall down. Has LeBron fallen too far down considering how he's still unstoppable? At number 3, is that a slap on LeBron's face? Number 3? What do y'all say?
I think, yeah. I mean, for the past season, I think it's a good place for him, right? Because Giannis convincingly just won the championship. KD almost got his team there, just came off a gold medal, and he willed them to win. So it's hard to put LeBron above them. We'll see. Hopefully this is fuel. He's always looking for some edge, some respect. Hopefully this makes it, he can make a case. He's getting up there in age. He's not going to be the best player every year. He's making a good case, but it's hard to think that you can rank him above KD or Giannis right now, right? Like it's just it's a hard case to make, because for me, Giannis is definitely number 1, both sides of the ball, and KD's a better scorer than anybody else in the league.
It's worth mentioning 2 people that are missing. Mr. Triple-Double, Russell Westbrook. Russ is not in there. Kyrie Irving, best handles in the NBA, not in there. Well, you can either talk about the king being, we all fall down. Has he fallen down too far on this list? Is the king too far down this list, or even the omissions? How does Kyrie not make it? Kyrie's not in there. Russell Westbrook, Mr. Triple-Double. What we evaluate as the factors that we use, like what factors are we using to come up with these? But what do you think, man? That's their 15. Would you have the same?
Who's number 15? Who's number 15?
Jimmy Butler. No, number 15 is Bradley Beal. Number 14 was Jimmy Butler.
Is Jimmy Butler better than Westbrook?
No.
I'm a Miami Heat fan, and I would say, heck no. No,
man. That's crazy. I'm more surprised that Luka is behind the Joker. I think Luka's
one person, 4 and 5. They just went with the international. They went 4 and 5 international.
He won the MVP. He was the MVP last year. How is he at number 6?
I mean, MVP isn't all just that you're just the best player. MVP is situational too, and whatever.
It's most valuable to that team.
Yeah, I mean, it's still obviously you're in the conversation for best player if you're the MVP, but I think Luka's better than him. That's just me. I'm all
right, so you would switch Luka at 5 and the Joker at 6.
But you got to put Westbrook in there. That's just blasphemy. I mean, what are we doing? Kyrie, I don't even know. Maybe. I don't know.
Kyrie's hard. Kyrie doesn't play enough to. I can accept Kyrie not being on that. Russ,
he's a holiday worker.
This dude is 1,000% every day, and he's averaging a triple-double. Like, it's so normalized.
You know what? That skirt.
He gets so dismissed. Yeah, maybe. His fashion forward approach brought him down. He's number 16.
Neither one of you really took issue with KD being at number one. So KD is.
I have an issue. I said Giannis.
I don't like KD.
I said Giannis should be number one.
All right.
I'm a hater.
Giannis
so
is the best two-way player. Once Giannis gets a jump shot, he's in the conversation.
I mean, how much longer are we gonna wait, ETP? Like once he get a jump shot, that's like saying once I get a Lamborghini. I'm 44 years old. I ain't getting a Lamborghini.
He's 26 years old.
And won a chip without it. Won a championship without it.
And he's 26 years old.
They still look broke to me. They say if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But his broke. His jump shot broke. Fix it. I think I'm rocking with KD at number one. I think I'm rocking with KD at number one, man. Like unstoppable, man. Unstoppable. I think I ought to put LeBron at 2 and Giannis 3. Giannis is 3 to me. Because you talk about the best two-way player, still I think the top finals play from a defensive side is still LeBron. Like to be able to recover and block Iguodala. I used to call him AI, but you would be thinking Iverson. Andre Iguodala. To block his shot from that part of the floor is the best defensive play we've seen in the finals.
Yeah, I mean Giannis had one. It just wasn't a game. It wasn't a game deciding or a series deciding play. But against the best team, arguably one of the best teams ever formed. True, absolutely. So then, yes, Giannis, LeBron, KD.
KD been trying to play a little defense lately too. He gets mixed up with the little chicken arms he got.
Who's this?
KD been trying to play.
You called him chicken arms.
Chicken arms. I just don't like nothing about him.
You definitely.
I can tell you
vendetta.
You do not like that man.
No.
You do not like that man. Somebody else that was not on the list, and I don't think that should have been on the list, is Ben Simmons. But Ben Simmons is rumored to say he will never play for the Philadelphia 76ers again. Doc Rivers is going on his own little recruiting tour trying to get him to change his mindset on that. I think that when you alienate somebody so much that they are and I don't want to play with mental health, but he was severely hurt by that from an emotional standpoint. Ben Simmons was he couldn't even make a layup. And that's all head games that unfortunately he lost that game when it came to his own inside conversation with his head. I don't think he'll ever play for them again. He didn't make the top 15. I don't think he should have because he had a very, very, very bad playoff run this year. We'll see if he ever plays for the 76ers again. Quickly, let's go to the producer cut. We all fall down episode. It's been amazing. Give us at least a few of them quickly, man, before we get out of here. ETP, what you got, the producer?
So we go from LeBron at the number 3 best player to, according to Carmelo Anthony, LeBron is the GM of the Lakers because LeBron apparently called Carmelo and said, now's the time. Come play for LA. Let's win a championship. And what did Carmelo do? Sign the deal. I think league probably veteran minimum.
Do y'all like that? Thumbs up or thumbs down with the players taking over such that they are essentially a GM? You thumbs up. What do you, ETP? Thumbs up, thumbs down? You like
thumbs
that?
Thumbs up. Thumbs up.
Come on, man.
Thumbs up.
Because you get all the credit for bringing in somebody like Carmelo if it works, but then you don't take any of the blame for the bums that don't work. I don't like it. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
Tom Brady does do the same thing. Everybody jumps.
Yeah, maybe. I don't like it. Anyway, go ahead. ETP. I'm sorry. Sorry to interrupt.
No, Tom Brady coming up again. I think you're showing your love. It's all right. I'm not a fan, but I recognize we are nominating you for president.
No love.
Tom Brady fan club.
You got one vote.
Tom Brady's president. Tom Brady's president of something. What else you got, man?
All right. So going back to Derrick Henry, the best running back, top 5 best running backs in the league. His state rushing record for most rushing yards in a game in the state of Florida. He has
the state of where? Where is he from? The state of what?
Florida.
Okay.
He's not from Lauderdale though.
He's from state of Florida, man.
Central.
Depending on the story, I conveniently accept people from up north. I'm conveniently from. Yeah.
So
he's from Central. Yeah, he's from Central North.
His record was 512 yards in a single game.
In one game.
That record was broken this past week by
His
a
son.
junior running back, Caleb Wagner, and he ran for 535 yards from Baker, Florida, which is not in the country of South Florida. That is by the Panhandle.
Our own country, baby.
And he's missing part of his arm. He has amniotic band syndrome, similar to Shaquem Griffin. So as a running back, 6'1", 205, and has deficiency in terms of his arm, his ability to stiff arm, and he's still putting up these numbers. So it shows you could do anything.
Props to that brother, man. I didn't, when I first heard the story, I thought it was cool that Derrick Henry would call a high school prep player that broke his record. I think that's the evolution of the game. Like, you're supposed to pass the torch. I didn't know he was disabled. Like, from a definition standpoint, he's disabled, and yet he was able to break the record. Shout out to that young man, man. That's a good story.
I wonder if he has any scholarships.
I think he will now. 535 yards
from in the state of Florida. You guys have.
If I had a scholarship to offer, I'd offer him. Yeah. Anyway, go ahead, ETP.
So, still on high school. So in Ohio, there was a controversial call made in an Ohio football game, high school, September 10th, Grove City High School versus Central Crossing High School. There was a controversial call. One of the assistant coaches then came onto the field, got an unsportsmanlike, and ultimately the team ended up losing. After the game, the referees convened in a locker room to evaluate their performance, and they were locked in. Somebody put a vending machine in front of the door and locked the referees in as punishment for their performance.
I thought about doing that once before, man. I got an unsportsmanlike call. If you remember ETP in a playoff game, I wish I could put a vending machine in front of them dudes' dressing room. But come on, coach, you can't do that. That's salty to the that's false imprisonment, man. You gonna
go a couple drinks in there for him?
Hunger strike.
Anybody who's savage enough to put the vending machine in there and rustle it in front of the door, you probably don't want to get out because it was some way
and be yelling in there. You want one of these Dr. Peppers? When you get out, I got one waiting for you.
Slide a dollar under the door.
No
Get
change.
you some Cheez-Its.
No change. Figure it out. Hey, man, that coaching will take you there, boy. Them refs be tripping sometimes. But I digress. Go ahead, ETP.
Yeah. So I think so. Monday Night Football, we had Aaron Jones, who actually scored 4 touchdowns in the Packers win against the Detroit Lions. Did the first Lambeau Leap in about a year and a half because they had no fans in attendance last season. And as a result, he ended up losing a chain that he was wearing that had his father's ashes encapsulated. But the grounds crew searched until 2 a.m. and they recovered the chain, and all is well in Green Bay.
That's what's up. Hey, get that groundskeeper guy or lady a bonus. Pay him or her. Pay them their money. Go ahead.
That's a tough thing to wear in a game. Like,
I don't know why you would wear that, but anyway, look, like people's
first year. I think his dad died of COVID. First time he wasn't at the game to do it, so I
know, but people grieve in their own ways. So who am I to judge? But man, if that's that precious to you, don't wear it in the game. But anyway,
get a stronger.
He said, he had a real light heart at his end of the game interview. He's like, "Look, my dad think he'd be happy that I lost his chain in the end zone, scoring a touchdown." So he took it the right way. He was like, "Hey, find my chain. Y'all better find my chain." But if I lose it, no better place to lose it.
Shout out to the cruise person who found it. What else you got, ETP, before we get out of here?
And the last story is Emma Raducanu, who won the U.S. Open this year, 18 years old. It was the battle of the teenagers. Her winnings, $2.5 million. She has publicly stated that she is leaving the management of her finances, the $2.5 million. She doesn't know what's happening with it. She has left it to her parents to manage the money.
Look, if she wants an additional person, a third party, a neutral party, objective, just know that I'm here, and I would do right by you and your money. That's all I'm saying. Nah, that's good, man. Good for her. Trust. If you can't trust your parents, who can you trust? Hopefully that story will end well. We won't be looking back at it 15 years from now. And it's one of these crazy stories about how they mismanaged the money.
Yeah. Well, both her parents work in finance, so it's not that ridiculous.
That means that means that they even know how to hide and cheat better than. No, I'm just joking, man. I'm just joking, sort of. Hopefully that story ends well.
Write-offs, tax havens, legal stuff.
Right.
First world problems.
Shout out to her. She's got a bright career in front of her, man. Gonna have a great future in tennis. Look, you all, this has been the We All Fall Down episode. And I started talking about the fall that my team took against the older kids. I'll end talking about it more broadly. We all fall down. There's ebbs and flows of every college football program. There's ebbs and flows in each and every one of our lives. And we get up because of the people around us. And football is because of our teammates. And in life, it's because of our kids, our loved ones, those who are depending on us. So although we all fall down, please get up more times than you fall. And if you do that, you win. This has been the Ball Hog Sports Talk with your boy, B. Brown, ESQ, a.k.a. the Ball Hog, a.k.a. the Mouth South, a.k.a. Mr. Success Celebration, a.k.a. Breezy, with my man ETP, Els the producer, and the Big Flow Show. We appreciate you joining us and supporting our movement. Please like, please comment, please share, tag a friend, tag a foe, tag anybody that you know. Please subscribe in both the podcast world and on YouTube, and so you can be a part of the YouTube subscription space. That is it. That's all we have for this week. We'll be back next week. You know how we do it, rough, rugged, and raw. We bring sports, business, entertainment. For this week, we is out. Go Irish!